Hi guys, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000th Time Reactions,
where we react to a song after listening to it for our 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day,
every day.
So please hit that subscribe button
and ding that post notification bell
so you don't miss out on any of our content. What are we going to listen to right now, Nicky?
We're going to listen to Just Like Heaven by The Cure. You know, sometimes you know, we've been doing these reaction videos for a while now, and for some reason you don't think to do such a popular band. And, you know, so we're finally getting around to The Cure here, you know. This is a very popular song by The Cure, obviously, and it's a very good one.
Yeah. I mean, popular in a cult kind of way. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, this actually was a kind of a big mainstream success, actually.
I know, but just the band itself, though, is more like, it's not like a... You know, they're kind of like the Smiths in a way. You know what I mean?
No, I think actually The Cure is bigger than the Smiths, mainly because they're still together. I mean, not all of them together.
Yeah, but
it's still a band, Robert Smith.
Okay, but
we can argue this afterward. If you're new to the channel, what we do on here is we listen to a song all the way through without stopping, so as not to interrupt the intention of the artist. And then afterward, we'll talk about a reaction of the song, go into some in-depth analysis, and maybe talk a little bit about the history of the song and the artist, if we should know it.
We also have another YouTube channel, if you're interested, called Max and Nicky, on which we perform oldies tunes, jazz standards, and original tunes in that vein. And we got some comedy videos on there as well. But for right now, let's take a listen to Just Like Heaven by The Cure.
For our 1000th time.
Here we go.
Angels dancing in the deepest oceans, twisting in the water. You're just like a dream, you're just like a dream. Lift me into shape. I must have been asleep for days. Your moving lips to breathe her name. I opened up my eyes and found myself alone, alone, alone above a raging sea. I stole the only girl I loved, drowned her deep inside of me. You, soft and only you.
such an interesting
Kinda
way
interesting
to end
way
the
to end the
song.
song.
They didn't. He doesn't say "Just Like Heaven" throughout the whole song until the way end. There, you know.
Well, it's also interesting that's not just the interesting thing about the ending. The interesting about the ending, harmonically and just melodically, is it feels like it's not the end of the song. You know,
Sure.
It kind of ends, without kind of a cadence in the end. You know,
Also, that chorus happens only twice throughout the whole song. You lost and lonely, you. Oh, sorry, soft and lonely, you lost and lonely.
just that you were
like Heaven. That only happens twice.
We were going back and forth about. You were saying, oh, they're really popular. You think that they were more popular than the Smiths?
They got to be more popular.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like
I don't think you realize how big the Cure is at this point. You know, I mean, they're huge.
All right, take it easy. It's like, all right, you're getting like mad or something.
No, I'm serious though. Like they're. I mean, they started off as like a goth post-punk band.
No, they didn't start off like that. Actually, I wouldn't have said they started off as a goth
Sorry,
band.
they started off as a post-punk
kind of a post-punk band, and then they became more goth.
And then
because
they became...
because Robert Smith started wearing makeup. Actually, I mean that kind of
no, but the
obviously the sound
started
changed
becoming
too.
darker, but it's
Well, just kind of had a different kind of mood to it.
sure. But then by the time they got to the late '80s, early '90s, I guess, which is when this song came out.
This was in '87.
'87, right?
Yeah, but
This is when they started kind of achieving more mainstream success and actually just kind of became more of a pop rock band, I would say.
I guess, but there is still a quality of goth in here for sure. I mean, just there's an ambiance to it that has it.
Sure.
And also, by the way, just to give you an example, they only reached number 40 on the Billboard charts. Just to tell you, I mean, it wasn't because you were saying, oh no, they're a huge, like I was saying they're a huge band in that in a cult kind of
You
way.
mean of all time? They've never. You mean none of their singles reached
This is the first American hit.
this song?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they eventually reached higher.
I don't know.
No, they did. Trust me.
you think that?
I do know that. I think I looked this up fairly well, maybe in the past couple of years. But anyway,
Well, anyway, the point is,
arguing over just
but
minute
you
trivial
do
details.
say that, but Morrissey continued after the Smiths, by the way.
Sure, and Morrissey was also
he was-
very big.
Yeah, I know, but that's my point is, I feel like, well, this is the classic argument too, by the way, the Smiths versus the Cure. That's a huge thing.
The only reason that's a thing is because Robert Smith and Morrissey were known to not like each other. Even though I like both bands. I mean, I think I prefer the Smiths, but they're both great bands,
Sure. But it's kind of funny because Robert Smith,
His name is
the Smiths.
Well, but it's interesting you say this because, Robert Smith, before forming The Cure, actually was a member of Siouxsie and the Banshees for a little bit. And Siouxsie and the Banshees is very much a goth band,
Well, they definitely were one of the creators of that genre, I feel.
Pioneers, rather.
Yeah, and but again, I still say though, yes, they are a huge band, but in the same way you might say Depeche Mode is huge.
Right, but it's interesting you're saying this because they are. I mean, Depeche Mode actually was their first song or their first single
bigger.
was really big.
Yeah, exactly. But what I mean is, they're not huge. I would say of all those bands, Duran Duran is bigger than all of them. They were really commercial.
Well, yes and no. Listen, I would say that if you were to argue, for example, between Duran Duran and Depeche Mode, they're probably both equally as big. I mean, at this point.
Okay, but they're definitely, I think both of those bands are, well, no, you can't argue at this point. I think it's very rare for any band who's been to sustain longevity, actually. I mean, you could even say it's not like, it's not like the Rolling Stones' current music is that popular, Do they even write current music?
But it doesn't matter. It's all about who's selling the most tickets right now,
Okay, but yeah, well, you know what? Aerosmith, apparently, they were performing. My friend used to work at this venue that was just outside of San Francisco before, and it was a stadium, and Aerosmith was really having trouble selling. I mean, there was a lot of empty seats apparently,
Really?
and they're a huge band. You know,
That would not happen with Depeche Mode or The Cure today. Or Duran Duran. They would all sell out the
you know
venue that
why?
they're-
Because they have this cult fan base. You know, what I mean by commercial, like when you have a huge band. Well, also by the way, there's something about, and I feel like 80s bands are more relatable to younger crowds than 70s bands. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Sure, yeah.
There's something more. Well, for one, they kind of, I feel like, related.
There's more of
they
a
started
relatable
to like kind of the angst
and themes of angst and things like that.
Teenage
Depression, really.
depression and stuff like that. You know, it was almost like, yeah, bands in the.
I mean, Duran Duran didn't really do that, but I mean,
right? That's true.
Look, listen,
That's true.
We're not even talking about the song. Look, the song is really cool. It's a very iconic song. Even that opening guitar lick. I mean, first of all, you got several guitars going on at once. You got one in the left ear. You got one in the right ear that seems to sound like a 12-string guitar that's strumming.
Well, maybe.
And then you
Well,
have
the
this
other
one,
the one in the left
that
ear.
sounds like a mandolin or something.
Well, the one in the left ear.
But there's two in the left ear.
Well, the one that begins in the left ear, that seems to be more the lead, and then the one on the right is more the the rhythm.
Well, no, the
guitar.
one that's playing, there's one in the left ear that starts as a rhythm, and then there's the one in the right.
No,
that
no,
starts with
but
and then there's another one that
no,
in the
but
left
the one in
that's
the
a
left
lead.
ear that starts. Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh,
that's true. That's true. That's true. That's
It's a very
true.
iconic guitar riff, actually.
I know. I would argue that riff is more infectious than the actual melody of the
No,
song.
but the chorus is very memorable. You like soft and only you.
no, yes, that part
Just
is.
like heaven.
But
That's
there's
a very memorable chorus.
yes,
actually.
but I'd say the verses are, to me, are not not as strong. Actually, personally, I don't think they're as strong as.
Is he saying soft and lonely? What is he saying? Or and lost and lonely? Is he using the word lonely twice?
No, you soft and only, you lost and lonely.
Oh, you soft and only you. Lost. Okay, interesting.
It's kind of a soft and lost, a little bit of a slant rhyme there.
But yeah, there's a lot, and then you have the synthesizer added to it, which is kind of the synthesizer line. It's ambient, yet it's very memorable. There's something about the sound of the synth in this song that's very memorable.
That sound makes me feel, that kind of gives it that goth vibe to me, actually.
Sure, I mean, could also just make it more 80s sounding, but
Well, no, yes, it does make it more 80s sounding, to be sure, but there is something in that particular timbre of that synth sound that I feel like, and there's a mood created in this song, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's...
sure.
There's something in the production as well of it, I think that creates it.
Sure,
makes
the
it a little bit
drums,
darker.
I really like the sound of the drums in this song. I like the sound of the toms especially. They really... Even the toms kind of are iconic in this song. Everything in this song sounds very memorable, actually, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, wait, everything sounds memorable?
Yeah, I mean...
I wouldn't say
no,
the verses are not
no,
quite
no.
as memorable to me personally.
I'm not...
but-
I'm talking about not as far as the melodic quality of them, but just they're memorable in the sense that they're iconic. I don't know what to say. You've heard these things. This song is played a lot, and I've heard this so many times. It's just everything in the song, to me, is memorable, for one reason or another. It's not the most, it's not, I do think it's a catchy song, but it's
kind of
obviously
funny.
not, it's not like a Beatles song or something like
Well,
that.
I
where
would say
everything-
it's
like
funny
a-
because they have Just Like Heaven, and the Smiths have Heaven
Knows
Knows I'm Miserable
now.
Now. No, is it Miserable Now or the title, the actual title?
Yes.
Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now. It's pretty interesting because, they're kind of talking about a little bit different qualities.
Well,
in
it's
there.
interesting.
But-
You mentioned.
But I just want to say, of the two Heaven songs, I will have to say, I mean, sorry to say, if you're a Cure fan, I do like the Cure, but Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now is it's a better song.
Well, actually, it's interesting that the Smiths, Morrissey has a lot of sort of dark and depressing lyrics, but they are not considered a goth band at all.
Well, again, it's the quality of their songs,
But also the way they dress, I guess.
Well, it's the way they dress, but also, again, it was.
You could argue that How Soon Is Now, if that were played by The Cure, that would be considered a goth tune.
Yeah, well,
right?
I don't know. There is something in that. I would say the Smiths have a little bit more poppiness to them, actually.
I know, but the song How Soon Is Now, it's kind of a dark
Wait, how does
sounding
that
song.
go again?
Damn.
Oh, that song. No, there's something about that doesn't sound goth to me at all, actually.
There's something that does sound goth to me
No,
about
wait,
it,
there's
but
something,
maybe not.
even the very fact that, damn, even having that sounds like, there's something there's something a little bit bigger about that song. And
What are you talking about? I don't know.
there's a little bit more, for lack of a better word, there's something working class about that song, actually. It reminds me.
I don't get that vibe from it, but
It does. Maybe it's
We're
because
splitting hairs at
Maybe
this
it's because
point,
of
obviously, folks.
Maybe because of the music video. I think the music video has these factories in it in the beginning, so it makes me think of the working
I
class.
am human and I need to know just that I don't know. Just I don't know. Anyway,
I guess I can understand why you think it sounds goth, but it doesn't. There's something.
no, that's not what I mean by it sounding goth. What I'm saying is it's dark enough that if it were performed by a goth band, you would be like, of course this is a goth
Yeah,
song.
but I wouldn't. There's something not dark about that to me.
To me, there is.
Nah.
It's definitely not as poppy as This Charming Man or
No, I know.
or
Well, no.
Ask.
The Smiths talk about dark themes for sure, but
No, hey, the song, there's a light that never goes out. There's something dark, morbid about those lyrics.
of course, but it's not. I'm talking about the quality of the song. I mean, you could even say that we just did a listen to "Last Kiss" by J. Frank Wilson and the Cavaliers. That's about this girl dying.
I felt like a kiss. It's just we just did that.
but those aren't goth songs.
I know, but I'm not talking about whatever. We're splitting hairs now. Anyway, the song, it's a good song. I feel like it's a very iconic song.
Sure.
And did you want to say anything else about this song?
I think that's it.
I think that'll do it for this reaction video. If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ding that post notification bell to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos. And hey, if you want to contribute to the discussion, please comment below. And, obviously Max and I are engaging in some debate here. If you would like to add anything to that debate, please comment below.
and maybe you know more than us about this actually. Anyway, or it can add some tidbits that we don't know about. Please keep tuning in.